Die Selbstverteidigung bedeutet natürlich, dass man Terroristen nicht nur angreift, sondern zerstört. Deswegen habe ich so klar und deutlich gemacht, wenn Hamas-Terroristen sich hinter Menschen, hinter Schulen verschanzen, dann bekommen wir in ganz schwierige Themenbereiche rein, aber wir ducken uns davor nicht weg. Deswegen habe ich vor den Vereinten Nationen deutlich gemacht, dann können auch zivile Orte ihren Schutzstatus verlieren, weil Terroristen das missbrauchen. Dazu steht Deutschland und das bedeutet für uns Sicherheit Israels.
This is my video update on this Tuesday afternoon, October the 15th, coming to you from Limassol, Cyprus. Let's talk about some news. And let's start things off with the Middle East and conflicting reports on Israel's strike on Iran. We had some sources the other day saying that Israel's strike on Iran was going to be big and it would force Iran to respond. And after these reports came out, we had a report from the Washington Post which claimed that Biden had convinced Netanyahu to not strike at Iran's nuclear and oil facilities, and that Israel was going to focus on military targets, which would maybe not get a response from Iran and lead to some sort of de-escalation. This is what the Washington Post was reporting. And a lot of analysts are picking up on the WAPO's report, claiming that this is a diplomatic win for Bidenopolis. If this is to be believed, then this is a big win for Bidenopolis, and maybe a wider war in the Middle East will have been averted. We will see. Conflicting reports from the collective West media as to what Israel is going to go after in Iran. I wouldn't be surprised if Biden begged Netanyahu, and I believe that Biden would beg Netanyahu at this point not to go after the oil facilities, the nuclear and the oil facilities, because that would cause a huge spike in oil prices and cause all kinds of damage to the Democratic Party in the final few weeks of the election. Then again, Axios did report the other day that Biden cannot stand Harris and he's trying to sabotage Harris at every turn. So who knows? Maybe Biden does want a spike in oil prices because maybe Biden is secretly pulling for Trump to win because he's upset with being pushed out. Those are the words that Axios used. Pushed out by people in and around Kamala Harris and the Harris campaign. Anyway, we will see. We will see what's going to happen. But let's now turn to our favorite foreign minister, the one and only Jungle Joseph Borrell. Yeah, he's still hanging around. Kaya Kallas has not taken over for Jungle Joseph just yet. And Borrell, he said at a press conference the other day that the EU will renew its training of Ukraine soldiers for another 2 years. This is part of the European Union's military assistance mission in support of Ukraine plan, otherwise known as EU MAM. EU MAM. I don't know how you would pronounce it. EU MAM. The EU, they love their funds, they love their plans, they love their their acronyms. They really, really love that stuff. And they're pretty good at it. It's the one thing that the EU's good at, or one of the few things that the EU is good at, is coming up with these slush funds and these types of plans and giving them snazzy names. But yeah, another 2 years of training Ukraine soldiers. That is what Borrell announced yesterday. He did say that Ukraine is facing big problems. He did admit that the Ukraine military is in big trouble, but the European Union, they're ready to train Ukraine soldiers for another 2 years. The EU MAM plan was going to expire in November, and this is about training Ukraine soldiers in Europe, not about the EU member states sending trainers to Ukraine. The countries that most of the training takes place is Poland. I believe Poland and Germany are the two countries where most of the training takes place. Romania, I believe Romania as well. But easy money for the European Union, right? Plans like this are never going to go away. In 20 years, 30 years, God help us, if the European Union is still around, they're still going to have this EU MAM plan in place. They're going to still be training Ukraine soldiers. Maybe they'll give them another name. It'll be Ukraine soldiers in exile or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, this is easy money for the MIC, easy money for everyone involved in this training program. They're not going to get rid of this. They will never, ever get rid of this initiative. Borrell also said that on October 17th, when we have a Council of Europe summit taking place, that Zelensky is going to present his victory plan. Still going on about the victory plan. He is still going on about the victory plan. No one likes the victory plan. No one believes in the victory plan. The collective West says it's a joke. It's a wish list, is what they said. I said it's a joke. My opinion is that it's a joke, but the collective West said it's just a wish list. It's not a real plan. And still, they're going on about the victory plan. Borrell is talking about the victory plan. Zelensky is saying that he's going to present his victory plan to EU member states. We all know what that victory plan is. Fast track into NATO, fast track into the European Union, long-range missile strikes into pre-2014. Russia, more money, more weapons, victory. Oh my God. Podolyak. Podolyak said that with the receipt, Podolyak, what are you saying, bro? With the receipt of long-range weapons from NATO countries, the Ukrainian armed forces could launch a full-scale offensive in the Saratov, Leningrad, and Moscow regions. In other words, with long-range missiles, the Ukraine military, led by Zelensky, they are going to march all the way to Moscow. Not even Moscow. They're going to make it all the way to St. Petersburg. That is what Podolyak said. Just give Ukraine the long-range missiles, and Zelensky will be in Red Square in no time, man. Victory plan. That is what Podolyak said. And Germany's spy chief, he was speaking to the German parliament, I believe, the other day, to the Bundestag. On Monday, he was speaking to the Bundestag, and he said that Russia is preparing to cross NATO's red lines. Oh, those red lines. The collective West, they love them red lines. They really love them red lines. Russia's red lines, Putin's red lines, NATO's red lines. Yeah, Russia's preparing to cross NATO's red lines, said the spy chief for Germany. And he also said that Putin's master plan is to separate the United States from Europe, to separate the United States from NATO. That is Putin's master plan. Moscow's ultimate goal is to divide NATO and change the existing world order. Bruno Kahl, the chief of Germany Foreign Intelligence Service BND, has said Russia has surpassed European states in terms of military spending during its conflict with Ukraine, Kahl told MPs in the Bundestag on Monday. Putin will continue to test the West's red lines and further escalate the confrontation, the top spy claimed. Direct military confrontation with NATO has become an option for Moscow, he said. So, wow, Russia has surpassed. They have surpassed European states in terms of military spending. I thought they were running out of weapons. I thought they were using shovels and microchips from washing machines. And that Russia's economy was in tatters. Tatters, I tell you. Tatters. Tatters. I can picture Ursula 10 years from now in a straitjacket. Tatters. Tatters, I tell you. Tatters. Their economy is collapsing. I know their economy is collapsing. That's Ursula in 10, 20 years. Oh, man. So, yeah, that is what Germany's spy chief is saying. The ultimate goal from Putin is to separate the United States from NATO. Please, please, United States, don't leave us. Don't go. Don't go. Don't leave NATO. Don't leave Europe. If the United States leaves NATO and leaves Europe, where are the kleptocrats in Brussels going to get all their money from? Right? They've been living good for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. They've been living oh so good off of the United States, right? And now Putin wants to ruin it all. Damn it, Putin. That is coming from Germany. And in Canada, we have a fight brewing. No, we have a fight. It's not even brewing. We have a fight taking place between Big Balls Trudeau and Modi from India. Yeah, they're expelling diplomats. Canada expelled India's diplomats the other day. India expelled Canada's diplomats, and we're talking top diplomats that are being expelled. And this all comes down to this, when was it, 2023, I believe, or 2023 assassination of this Sikh separatist. India claims he was a terrorist. I believe that's what India claims about this guy. Nijad, I believe is his name. And I think I have the dates correct, but you know, my when it comes to dates, I'm awful. So I think this was 2023, 2022, but I could be wrong. Anyway, this Nijad guy, this Sikh, he went to Canada, fleeing India, I believe in 2010 or 2012, and then he became a Canadian citizen in 2015-16. And I believe in 2022 or 2023, he was killed in a parking lot, I want to say. And Canada claims that India, like the state of India and the embassy of India in Canada, they had something to do with the assassination of this guy. India wanted this guy back to India because they considered him a terrorist and a separatist. And now we've gotten to the point where they're expelling diplomats because of this incident. The foreign minister of Canada actually said that they have evidence which points to India and the embassy of India in Canada. Canadian Foreign Minister of Foreign Affairs, Melanie Joly said in a statement on Monday that the decision to expel the diplomats was made with great consideration and only after the police gathered ample, clear, and concrete evidence, which identified 6 individuals as persons of interest in the Nijad case. Yeah, he was killed in a Vancouver suburb in June 2023. That's when this guy was murdered. So Trudeau spoke to the media, and he said that the Indian government is making a fundamental error by allegedly supporting violence on Canadian soil. That's what Trudeau said. Addressing a news conference later on Monday, Trudeau said, "It is obvious that the government of India miscalculated by thinking they could support criminal activities against Canadians here. No country, especially a democracy that values the rule of law, can accept such a fundamental violation of its sovereignty," Trudeau added. So that's the fight taking place between Canada and India. Canada is not getting along with China because of the whole Huawei thing. Remember that? Yeah, they're not on best of terms with China. They're definitely not on best of terms with Russia. That's for sure. And now they're not on good terms at all with India. By the way, the embassy of India, actually the Indian Foreign Ministry, not even the embassy of India in Canada, the Foreign Ministry, they put out a statement and they claimed that much of this was about politics and about Trudeau playing up to a very large Indian Sikh population that lives in Canada. Actually, I read that we're talking about 1.5 million, I believe, or 1.6 million Sikhs who currently live in Canada. So we're talking about a very big voting bloc. Anyway, that is the fight between Modi and Canada. Big balls, Trudeau. Trudeau's getting tough, man. I'm telling you guys, I've been saying this for a couple of months now. Don't mess with Trudeau, man. The guy's, I don't know what happened. Ever since he went to see Barbie, something snapped in Trudeau, and he's become tough, man. He's become a tough guy. I don't know what happened, man. Anyway, that's the news coming out of Canada. And then we go to North Korea, where we are getting reports. I've seen some videos as well. Can't confirm the videos, but North Korea blew up some roads, linking it to the south. I don't know why they blew up these roads, if this is to be believed. I have no idea why these roads were blown up. But kaboom. Kaboom, as Zelensky says. Yeah, they blew up some roads linking north to south. Putin actually sent to the State Duma in Russia a bill on ratification of the treaty on comprehensive strategic partnership between Russia and the DPRK, North Korea. So it looks like Russia is going to make it official that they're aligned with North Korea. I think this is a great move from Russia and from Putin. Why not? Lean into it, man. Lean into it. Zelensky, the collective West, they keep on going on and on about North Korea and how North Korea is supplying Russia with artillery shells and weapons and missiles and rockets. And now Zelensky is saying that North Korean troops are fighting in Ukraine, and thousands of troops are going to be fighting in Ukraine very soon, all coming from North Korea. So you've been sanctioned as much as North Korea, more than North Korea. So if you're Putin, if you're Russia, just lean into it. Lean into it and make it official. Say you're in an alliance, and watch the collective West's heads explode, man. Yeah, absolutely. So that was interesting news. And what else? Another ship was destroyed by the Russian military in the port of Odessa. Now, Ukraine claims that these ships are carrying food, and Russia claims that these ships are transporting weapons. But we've seen 4, 5 ships destroyed by the Russian military over the past couple of weeks. Brian Berletic did a really good video where he explained that the fact that Russia is destroying these ships in Odessa is a clear sign that that Russia's Black Sea fleet has not been defeated, and that was just all propaganda and BS. Russia can do whatever they want in the Black Sea, and it shows. And I did a video with Alexander on the Duran, which will be posted, I believe, tomorrow. And Alexander made the point that the fact that Russia is destroying these ships, whether they're carrying food or whether they're carrying weapons, and the collective West is not making a stink about this, proof that the collective West, at least the United States, doesn't really care that much about Project Ukraine anymore. If this was done a year ago, then the collective West would be screaming and shouting, Russia is starving the world of grain, and Ukraine is the breadbasket of Europe, and Ukraine's the breadbasket of the universe, and Putin is trying to make the world go hungry, and stuff like that. But now they just don't seem to really care that much. So it looks like the whole grain, Russia is going after grain, and Russia's been pushed out of the Black Sea, and Russia's been defeated in the Black Sea, and Ukraine controls the Black Sea, and this is the big victory from the war. It looks like all of that was just nonsense, man. Absolute nonsense. And it also shows that the United States they just don't care anymore. They really don't care about Project Ukraine, which is bad news if you're Zelensky, and bad news if you're Europe, right? Lots of ships hanging out close to Limassol, huh? All right, so let's talk some Kamala news. Kamala news. Boy, is she making some news. She is really trying to get the male vote. She is desperate for the men to vote for her. And where should we begin with Kamala news? She was speaking at a Christian event. She's desperate to get the Christian vote, right? She was speaking at an event, a Christian event, and she said this gem, quote, "What we see is so hard to see that we lose faith or a vision of those things we cannot see but must know." Let me let me play the video for you guys.
Because what we see is so hard to see that we lose faith or a vision of those things we cannot see but must know.
So yeah, that's words of wisdom from Kamala Harris. Deep thoughts from Kamala Harris. Remember that Saturday Night Live skit, Deep Thoughts? Deep thoughts from Kamala Harris. What we see is so hard to see that we lose faith or a vision of those things we cannot see but must know. That's deep, man. That is deep. So she was accused the other day of plagiarism. This happened. Allegedly, she took some passages for a book. She plagiarized some passages, even from Wikipedia. She plagiarized even from Wikipedia some passages from a book she co-authored in 2009. And the New York Times, upon learning of this allegation that Kamala may have plagiarized, they called in a plagiarism expert. I'm not making this up. I am not making this up. Conservative activist seizes on passages from Harris's book. A report by Christoforou says the Democratic presidential nominee copied 5 short passages of her 2009 book on crime. A plagiarism expert said the lapses were not serious. Got that? She took some passages, but they were not serious. There's some gangs that are occupying apartments, but it's just a handful of gangs. The lapses were not serious. Look, it's a plagiarism expert. So if a plagiarism expert says that the lapses were not serious, then the lapses were not serious. And if there's one thing I've learned in my life, one thing that I have learned in my life is to always trust the plagiarism experts. When in doubt, consult your local plagiarism expert. Anyway, let's do some clown worlds. So we begin with Lord Bibo, who posted on X, Zelensky names the street after NATO's Secretary General who started his job last week. The Heroes of Sevastopol Street in Kiev is now called Mark Rutte Street. Since Rutte just started, he could have not earned this honor with any deed so quickly. Well, Rutte, as Prime Minister for the Netherlands, he did give a lot of billions of euros to Zelensky. He did do that, but Mark Rutte Street, my God, that is, oh boy. Well, Rutte got a street named after him in Ukraine, in Kiev. I guess that's an accomplishment, I guess. And Lord Bibo with another clown world. Lord Bibo has 2 clown worlds in today's video, but he needed one more, and he would have gotten a hat trick, a treble. But he's got 2. He's got 2 in this video. Let's see here. Ukraine's PSYOPs department called people in Crimea and told them that they are mobilized and they need to go to the military center for collection. Nice PSYOP, right? The problem, all people actually went there and were ready to fight. I was here in 20 minutes, said one resident of Crimea. And I thought that the people in Crimea, they didn't want to support Russia. They didn't like being part of the Russian Federation. Well, lo and behold, Ukraine decides to run this PSYOP, and what happens? They run to the military offices in 20 minutes, and they're ready to fight. All right, yeah, talk about a PSYOP backfiring, and what else? What else? I've got one more. Yeah, King Charles is traveling to Australia. And from what I understand, let me find the article here. The Australian politicians don't want to meet with the British king. Charles is due to arrive in Australia later this week. On Monday, the premiers of 6 federal states informed Canberra that they would not be able to attend the reception for the monarch, citing prior commitments. They're snubbing King Charles. They're snubbing him, man. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has previously said that the country should have an Australian as our head of state, suggesting he would support another referendum. The 1999 vote saw 54.9% of Australians voting to keep the monarchy. So in 1999, they voted to keep the monarchy, but maybe another vote may be coming. And from what I understand, the vote was in favor of keeping the monarchy because they liked the Queen. And now with King Charles in charge, Charles in charge of our days and our nights. Now with King Charles in charge, that referendum may actually come out much different than 1999. There are 14 countries around the world that still consider the British sovereign their head of state. Barbados was the most recent to declare itself a republic in 2021, but chose to remain in the Commonwealth and maintain cordial relations with London. Jamaica is set to hold a referendum on the issue later this year. All right, everybody, that is the video for today. theduran.locals.com. We are on Rumble, ODYSEE, BitChute, Telegram, Rockfin, and Twitter X. And go to the Duran shop, pick up some merch like the t-shirt I am wearing in today's video. You will find a link to the shop in the description box down below. Take care.